Hi friends, myself Wasim Sheikh welcomes you to YouTube channel MacTech Know-How. Today we'll be discussing topic secret revealed, that is how to become a project engineer that companies look for. I have worked for around 16 plus years in industry as well as teaching, but 15 years of experience is related to project engineering or project management. Here I have changed my jobs in different companies, but I have worked as project engineer. And while applying for the job or discussing during interview, I analyze that what companies are looking for in a project engineer and what are the gaps in the qualification of a person and the company requirement. Okay, so today this video will be discussing into two parts. The first, the job profile, where you see it on the internet or job portals and then you apply. But when you apply, then why few people get calls for interview and few people don't get? So here this video will be splitting into two parts. So first we'll discuss about the type of job advertisement, which come on internet on portal, and then you apply but you don't get up to interview point. So what are the gaps? What you need to fill in so that you reach up to the interview level, and then in the interview if you perform and you get a job, if you could convince the company that you are the right person for the job. So let us start. So the job brief, how it comes in the requirement of the company on the internet or job portal. Company looks for an accountable project engineer to be responsible for all engineering and technical activities that are involved in the project. Project engineer will schedule, plan, forecast, resource and manage all the engineering and technical activity, aiming at ensuring project accuracy and quality from conception to completion. Here we are talking about a project engineer who may be at the contractor side or he may be at the client side, and he may be a project engineer related to instrumentation, he may be a project engineer related to electronics item, or he may be a project engineer related to mechanical field, maybe manufacturing or maybe oil and gas. It's a general job briefing of a project engineer. But the main thing is he is responsible for all the activities which are related to the project. Okay, so that the project is completed successfully. So, responsibilities: prepare, schedule, coordinate, and monitor the project. So, as a project engineer, he has to prepare for the project, he has to schedule, plan, coordinate all the activity, and also monitor. Few times he have to coordinate himself, and sometimes he has to just monitor the progress or where the project is leading. Okay. Then monitor compliance to applicable standard practices, QA/QC policies, performance standard, and specification. Because here sometimes equipment has some safety requirements, and the way an activity is done, that has to be done safely and with a code. For example, if by chance, for example, in oil and gas company, there is a okay flame which is like burning and it is causing danger or life threaten to the surrounding people or the people working nearby. So if it is up to a certain limit, then it is okay. But if that limit is crossed, then that work has to be stopped, okay, or necessary precaution or action has to be taken to mitigate or to comply to the applicable codes. Okay, then interact daily with the client to interpret their needs and requirement and represent them in the field, because as such there was a requirement from the client, that's why that project has been initiated, and then the requirement of the client should be taken into account while you are working on the project. Okay, so basically interaction with the client on daily basis is the need, of a successful project. Perform overall quality control of the work, budget, schedule, plan, personal performance. Okay, because here if the project is done on time but not on budget, then there is a loss. If it is done on budget but the schedule or the plan is not fulfilled, there is a delay, or the performance issues are there, the persons who are working, then also there is a problem, because sometimes there are requirement like a person working should have this much experience, or he should be qualified enough for this particular work. That has to be seen. And also, as a project engineer, you need to do reporting of the project status regularly. It may be weekly, but you have to have update on daily basis. Okay. Then assign responsibility and mentor project team. The project team need to be assigned the responsibilities, okay? Because finally, all know their work, okay, as a department wise. But for a project, they have to come together and work in a particular sequence, okay, so that the project is completed on time, on budget, okay. So here, as a project engineer, he needs to assign responsibility and mentor project team, cooperate, communicate effectively with project manager and other project participant to provide assistance and technical support. As a project engineer, he need to be interacting with a level up, a level down, and in his level also. Okay, because he has to, as a project engineer, he need to interact with project manager and the other discipline people. Okay, and also he has to provide assistance and technical support. Okay, so these are the normal responsibilities where it is put on ads, okay, or portal, that this is the responsibility of a project engineer. Requirements: proven working experience as a project engineer, okay, because sometimes company are not looking for fresher, they are looking for a working experience. Okay, then excellent knowledge of design, visualization, software. The project engineer is expected to know a certain software. Okay, most like AutoCAD is one of them, but there are other also like ideas. Advanced MS Office skills. Advanced means he should be able to calculate and he should be able to use all the functionality of MS Office. Okay, then familiarity with rules, regulation, best practices, and performance standard, which we discussed. Ability to work with multidisciplinary projects, because he has to interact with finance department, he has to discuss with marketing department, he has to interact with manufacturing, he has to interact with inspection, he has to interact with assembly department, he has to interact with the procurement department, he has to interact with the stores, he has to interact with client. Okay, so many things are there. So mostly interaction with multidiscipline project team. Okay, so ability to work with multiple discipline projects. Okay, because sometimes the project involvement is electrical instrumentation, sometimes electrical instrumentation, mechanical, civil. Okay, so the project engineer should be able to work with multiple discipline project. And also procurement and construction. So interaction, too much interaction is there on daily basis. Project management and supervision skill. Okay, so he should be a good project manager. Okay, because he has to manage the project. As a title, he may be a project engineer, but he is managing the project. So he is somewhat a project manager for his project. Okay, and decision making ability and leadership. So decision making ability, he should not push directly the decision to, okay, project manager will decide or project director will decide. He should be able to take some decision on his level, but where some type of decisions where a budget, a change in schedule is required, there a discussion with the client as well as the upper manager is required, that's okay, but he should have the ability to take decision and also to lead the team. Time management and organization skill. Okay, because time management, in the sense, all project has to be managed in a timely manner, because the success of a project is on budget and as per schedule. And also he has to manage his own time and his team's time. Okay, because he has to keep the meeting on this particular time so that team members are available. Okay, then bachelor of engineering, obviously he has to be an engineer. Okay, if he has to become a project engineer, but it depends, he can be a project engineer who has done instrumentation, he can be a project engineer who has done electrical engineering or electronic engineering, mechanical engineering, but he can be a project engineer of maybe IT. He can be a project engineer of retail. He can be a project engineer of construction. So there are various places where a project engineer gets involved. Okay, but these are the requirement which you can see on ads and job portals. Now I'll be telling you that what company look for when they do the selection process, how to become a project engineer that companies look for. So companies expectation from a project engineer. First, he should be presentable. In a sense, not about dressing, it is also about he can present the project to the team. Maybe he should be able to prepare PPT, he should be able to present in where all the disciplines are present. He should be able to tell them what is the project all about. Sometimes there are design reviews, HAZOP, IPF related to the component or the project. Then he has to be able to do the presentation. Then EPC cost estimation, he should be able to do costing for the engineering, procurement, construction. Obviously, he has to take support or inputs from other discipline, but he should be able to prepare a EPC cost estimate. If a project engineer is not doing it currently, but he should know how to do it, because when he applies or changes his job, the another company may be looking for a project engineer who knows how to do the cost estimation. Then preparing tender application. Some companies they don't involve project engineer for tendering, but in some companies they may involve for tendering purpose. So preparing tender application, drafting and drawing. Some companies don't expect the project engineer to do drawing or drafting, but some companies may expect that their project engineer should know drafting or drawing and he should do it. Then he should also be able to do bill of material. This is company's expectation. Okay, I'm not saying that job portal or ads what they are saying of a project engineer is not correct. It is right, but company expects more because now if a person knows other things also, then he is in a better position to get the job of a project engineer. Specification for engineered items. Some there are items which can be ordered like a bill of material item which are coded, SAP coded, which can be ordered directly to the vendors. But there are some specification item for the project specific items which need to be prepared as a specification so that that can be made by the vendors or suppliers. Then prepare scope package for the contractor. It may happen that you got the project, okay, but now you need to give some part of it to the contractor. Then you need to prepare the scope package for that particular contractor, okay. Then follow up internal department and external suppliers that you need to do as a part of your work. Follow up supervise witness testing of equipment. The specification which you have prepared for the items, okay, or some items of a bill of material, they require some kind of special testing. Then that project engineer should know how to supervise or witness the testing of the equipment based on the specification and other quality requirements. Then analyze reports, maps, drawings, blueprints, test topographical survey or geologic data. So a project engineer should be able to analyze the reports which are coming to him, or the maps or drawing, blueprint, test, topographical or geological data, whatever data or drawing, okay, or documents which are coming on his table. He should be able to analyze those, because now you're witnessing the test. But the test reports which are coming to you, the project engineer should be able to analyze whether the test is successful or there is a failure. And the drawing, whether it is the drawing is made properly, or the blueprints or the topographical survey. Normally before the start of the project or when there is a digging activity, then topographical survey are done, so he should be able to read topographical drawing. Identify, access and manage project risk. Project risk, it can be coming up as a delay, it can be coming up as a budget, there is a requirement of more amount, okay, or there is a risk in terms of safety, okay. So he should be able to identify, access, okay, assess and manage the project risk. Then regular site visit. A project engineer while he's working, he should be doing regular site visit, because when he's changing job or when he's applying for jobs, when you do site visit, then you know the project more detailed, okay. And also you are interacting with the construction side of it, resolving issues arising during construction and assembly. When you do regular site visit, then you know the issues, okay, upfront, and then you will be able to solve them easily. So I have written here construction as well as assembly, because some project engineer are working as at construction areas and some project engineer are working in the company where their product is finally the assembly. Okay, so the resolving issues arising during construction or assembly. Ensure accurate client billing, because finally the aim of the project is to get the money to your company. Okay, once you deliver in terms of construction or assembly, when you send your assembly, or when your construction is done, or it is done partially, or partial assembly has been dispatched, so then finally whatever billing has to be there, it has to be accurate. Whatever you have supplied, you got the money. That you have to also track. You should not leave it to other department, because finally you are the person, the project engineer is the person who is responsible for delivery as well as payments also. Develop, share and incorporate lesson learned. While you are working on the project, there will be many lessons, okay, which you will be learning, your experiences, okay, during the project, your experience, your team experience. So when the project is going on, all the lessons which you have learned has to be finally listed. Okay, and sometimes there is a like combined meeting of all the disciplines where they sit together and put down all the lesson learned in the project, so that those lesson learned can be incorporated in the coming project, or if you are doing it while the project is running, then those lesson learned you can utilize for the remaining part of the project. Okay, so lesson learned has to be listed, and finally it has to be kept so that it can be used during the project or for the next coming project or as a record. Adherence to management of change procedure. Actually, what happens while the project is ongoing, there may be requirement from the client to change something, or there may be some technical issues. Because of that, you need to change. So there will be change in the budget, there may be change in the schedule. All need to be recorded. Okay, so that later on these things can be referred. Because, for example, you made a change, but there is no record. Okay, so what happens later on? There is no records of that particular things. Okay, so you have to adhere to management of change procedure. Okay, then you need to ensure that as builds, okay, document are uploaded in the system. What is as built? As built is whatever you have constructed or assembled, there will be slight changes, modification during the project. So that particular thing you need to update. Those drawing or the document need to be updated as it is. So that is called as built, that the document is updated based on the actuals. It may be construction related, okay, or maybe assembly related, or there may be some component changes or component size changes, or it has to be installed here but there was a problem at that particular location, so you have changed the location, you have modified the piping, you have modified the wiring, whatsoever has to be documented. That is called as built document, which needs to be updated or uploaded in the system, so that it can be referred later on for like record purposes or for the next project. Okay, and also these drawings can be referred on the next project. Sometimes what happen, they are using the same location, so they can use those particular drawing. If it is not as builded, the information which the next project is having is not completely correct. Then certification or courses that need to be done by the project engineer. Project management professional, that is PMP. Okay, this is actually an examination which needs to be given by the project engineer, so that he is certified as PMP, that is project management professional. Okay, so here people who have completed PMP course get more job opportunity and salary. Here in this video we will not discuss about PMP, but if there are comments based on this, like PMP, what is PMP and how it has to be done, what are the procedures to complete this course and about this certification, then we'll make a video on that. But currently just understand that a project engineer, if he does project management professional, that is PMP, he has good opportunity, okay, good job opportunity and also salary compared to those who are not certified as PMP. Okay, then Primavera, project management application of software which helps planning, managing and controlling project activity. There are other softwares also, planning softwares, okay, like MS Project or Project Scheduler, but Primavera is used worldwide. Okay, this is a planning software which helps you to plan your resources, your timeline, your activities. Okay, a project engineer who knows, okay, to do or use or schedule on Primavera, he gets, he can plan also by himself and then follow up the team members about the plan. So these two courses, okay, there are MBA also in project management, which teaches, okay, the project management skills. Here, I have discussed project engineering or project management in terms of a general life. I have not discussed about electrical engineer, instrumentation engineer, mechanical engineer. I have discussed about project engineer. Okay. So here, whatever points I have discussed, these are company's expectation from a project engineer. So that when you go for job, okay, then you have a edge and you will be able to get more job opportunity as well as more salary based on your having these things which companies expect from you. And on our channel there are other videos which you can have a look on it. Okay? ERP, Gantt chart, part programming, interview preparation, RA values, psychrometric chart, steps or procedure for compound indexing with example, then Macleod gauge, Tomlinson surface meter, Taylor Hobson telesurf. So these are the highest viewed videos on our channel. You can view that also. Okay. And like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Okay. Please comment and tell us if you want a particular video related to project engineer or the courses what a project engineer has to do. Okay. Goodbye.